for once again to coming to our 50 and Unfiltered Little Bytes, where we talk about problems, solutions, self-help on this journey we call life. And if you like what you see and hear, please click and subscribe, comment below, like, and click that little bell so you can get notifications on my next video. How you guys doing? I mean, we are still, unfortunately, in a pandemic, and sounds like our holidays are going to be affected. But it's not stopping me from feeling good to know that this too shall pass. So we're going to keep moving on despite the obstacles that we see. Today we're going to talk about an obstacle that I really had to dig deep for, because I've been through several of these and I had to learn how to cope. And hopefully my advice to you will be able to help you on your journey in this area to deal with certain situations such as this. Can you forgive? Let's say it again. Can you forgive? Well, I know a lot of people say no, depending on the circumstances. And that can be true for a lot of people, even myself. I think it's the way we forgive is how you will be at peace. And again, I had to do the soul searching because I have gone through that. And when I'm talking to you about this, I am not perfect, nearly not at all. But I think that as humans, we respond certain ways and we deal with it certain ways. So, again, I'm just giving you what Leslie, what Leslie continues to do in order for her to keep, at peace. The one thing we want out of this life is to be peaceful. And, I don't like all the tension and things like that. So when that happens, you have to put yourself in the right place at the right time, so you're not affected by all the stuff that's going on, right? Okay. So when I thought about can you forgive, I had to think about it as a process. So there's 6 stages of can you forgive. So at the end, you can determine if you can forgive someone that has done some things to you, right? And I know that that's an important piece that we need to deal with as humans, okay? One of the things you have to do when you are trying to forgive someone, you have to address the problem. You have to know what was it that caused you to feel a certain way about somebody. What did they do to you? And you have to address it, and you have to feel it. And you don't know where they're coming from, so you have to kind of investigate. But sometimes you're not going to investigate. You're going to have this problem. You're going to feel it. So you go into the next section of you have to be able to understand the hurt that you feel from that person. And meaning, when you understand the hurt that you feel, that means you might have to go ahead and cry and vent and get angry and all those things that you need to do to get over this situation. Process. So you're going to identify the problem, and then you're going to identify the hurt. You're going to be able to just kind of just let it out, y'all. You got to let it out. However you do it, you got to let it out. Don't let it out on the person, but you got to let it out, okay? Talk to somebody else that will get you through that. I've had situations from people where I felt very hurt. Trying to think about it, I am not a good talker, meaning I'm not one to investigate. I'm not the investigating person. But if I'm placed in a position where I have to address it with somebody, I do. And I think that's probably the best thing you need to do. That's my advice. Don't follow me, because, you'd be really messed up. But but I know, in past, in learning from my mistakes, it's best to just go ahead and try to address it with that person if you feel hurt. And, if you do feel hurt, you experienced that hurt, because that's the only way you're gonna get over it. And I know that was something that I had to deal with myself. When you do all of that, you have to accept that it happened. Meaning you can't change what happened. You gotta accept it. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna get, it's not gonna be like you wake up and say, oh, I didn't have, because it did. That hurt, that situation happened. So you have to accept that and to know that that's not gonna change. So because it's not gonna change, now you gotta be in that situation of like, what are you gonna do when it comes to that person and comes to that change that has just affected your relationship with that person? So going back to me, I've had those situations where I felt very hurt. I had to talk to people. I had to cry. And I had to think about how I was going to feel moving forward. How would I look at this particular person again and move on? And that's the part that's really got to be, I think, out of all the stages, you got to really realize, how are you going to be with that person moving forward? Because if you're going to be angered continually, you won't be able to build back to where you were. I think if you continue to hold on to situations that are not, right, I think when you, continue, a situation that's not right, it's not gonna benefit you, and it's not gonna benefit the other person. So you really gotta realize, hey, how am I going to continue with this person moving forward? When you decide that, I feel like that's when the healing starts. Meaning that's when you're able to either move on or forgive that person and bring them back into your fold, and know that that was just something of a misunderstanding or miscommunication, and that it really won't affect you guys moving forward. Because sometimes people make decisions based on emotions. So they do something and then you are affected. And not all decisions are made are good. Some of them are done out of like spite, and the other person doesn't know, or the person does know. And they see that, oh, okay, you did this because I did this, or you did this and I don't know why. And you've got to be able to understand that there was a cause and an effect of that situation. So again, like I said, moving forward, you need to know how that's going to be handled, and so that you can properly heal. So when we get to this part, for me, and I'm being honest, okay guys, I have a hard time when somebody hurts you and I don't know why. When you kind of know they made a decision about something, okay, you're like, all right, I kind of get why she said that or why she did that. But when you're hit out of the blue about something, it really makes you think about that person. It really makes you think about how that person feels about me, and how can I move on with that person if I don't feel comfortable. So when you talk about forgiveness, it really means to me two things. If you forgive that person, you forgive them, right? And then if you forgive them enough that you want them back in your fold, in your life or in your circle, by all means do so. Then there's the other part where you can still forgive that person and you can let them go and still be okay with that. That's one part that people don't think is capable of happening. That you can forgive, but that person doesn't necessarily have to be in your life. Yeah, you can forgive, but you know that the circumstances that may have started this piece of forgiveness journey means that that person, you know, is not going to go to that next level with you. Because sometimes letting someone go might be the best thing for you and for them. Because whatever they're feeling, that, you know, what they did to you, they may be holding on to that as well. And it just becomes an awkward situation. I had a friend, you know, we were friends, you know, for a good while, and there were periods of not talking and everything like that for various reasons. And the last time, it was a decision of just letting go altogether. That there's no coming back. But I forgive the person of what they're going through and how they affected me, because I don't know what's going on with that person, and I'm not going to, you know, assume. But I feel like at this point of several tries of getting this relationship back on track, to me it was enough. Because I simply just want to be at peace. That's what I'm saying. If you're dealing with forgiveness of the same person over and over and over again, comes a time where you're going to just have to forgive and let go and wish them well. You don't want to wish anything wrong on them. You want to be able to be like, you know what, God speaks. Because it's important for you and it's important for them. It just so happens that it's just not working. But you can't hold on to what they've done. You got to just accept it and move on. But if you have a situation where you're able to talk it out, get over it, and then you're able to move on together, I say celebrate. But I will say, if it's multiple times of one person, there is a time you're going to have to say, do I want to keep going through this? Right? But you can forgive the person, y'all. Y'all can forgive, but you got to remember, you know, there's limits to everything that you do. There's limits to everything that we do. So don't feel like you got to be obligated to forgive and welcome. You can forgive and let go. And I think that's a piece where, again, you know, that's like, ooh, can I do that? That doesn't look like you're holding a grudge. No, you're not holding a grudge. You're gaining peace. Because at some point, if a person is still hurting you or vice versa, or if you're hurting them, because, you know, it don't have to be just, you could be doing it and you might not know it or however. But what I'm saying is that you got to get to a point where this back and forth, you do this, I do this, you know, I'm hurt, you hurt, we forgive, and then something else come up that's real major, and here we are again.
Y'all really want to do all that?
So, can you forgive? Yes. Can you welcome back into the fold? Yes. Can you let them go? Yes. Does that look like you're holding a grudge? No. Because you have to make sure that you are good. And again, no one's going to take your hand. No one's going to tell you what you need to do. You got to feel comfortable with yourself. And whatever decision you make, you've got to be right with that decision. And don't let other people try to, you know, deter you from that. But again, it all boils down to knowing who you have, understanding what they need, they understanding what you need, and being able to discuss things so it doesn't get to those big blowouts. I think once you understand who you're dealing with, I think the less problems you have. But that's not with everybody. And also, my motto room to kind of, if they're sincere about making things work, okay. But if they're not, you dangle that little rope and see how much they tighten that back up. And then you know they're not sincere, right? So that's another way of determining how your forgiveness will go. Meaning that if they are doing the same thing, you have to forgive, because that's good for your inner peace. But that's the part where you forgive and you let go. So whatever you decide, make sure that you're at peace. Again, I'm not the perfect person. I know that. I've just admitted that I'm not perfect. But I feel like a lot of the situations I was able to forgive and let go. I've been able to let people back into my circle. And I won't even say circle, y'all. I'm going to say fold, meaning that you have conversations with them. I don't know if I would fully allow them back into my circle, because once I have a circle of trusted human beings, then that's all I want. I don't want nothing big. And that person I can be cordial with and be nice with, but it doesn't have to be all the same, because you don't know if that person feels the same about you. You have to really kind of just feel that out. And if it does, then great. But if it doesn't, you kind of keep them to a minimum. But then there's those other ones where you just got to cut it off. But I wish you well. And I hate to keep stressing that, because I just want you to feel comfortable. If you come to a situation like that, you're comfortable in doing that. Okay. So guys, I hope that this little bit of information helps you on your journey, helps you to deal with certain things in your life. Forgiveness is a very hard topic, but if you like what you see and hear, please click and subscribe, comment below and hit that bell for notifications. And as always, I will see you real soon.